All right. Today I'm going to talk about a stock called ORBT International. This is a stock that creates electrical components, high quality military grade components that can be used in space, in outer space, in microgravity and zero gravity. So this is part of the space pool. A lot of money is flowing into this market now. The SpaceX IPO is coming out. And so a lot of these auxiliary stocks or stocks that are related to space are really booming right now. Now, this stock here, Orbit, it doesn't really have any recent news. So this price increase, and this is pretty severe, is all due to people just starting to buy the stock. It's momentum. The volume here today, in today's session, was 728,000, and that's much higher than the normal volume, but still very low. This stock trades over the counter, which isn't a big deal, but it's not on a listed exchange. It's just an over the counter stock. Hasn't really done much of anything until I coincidentally, or not coincidentally, started watching it last Friday. And I bought it the end of the day before close, somewhere around $6.24. Now, I only bought 100 shares of this. I wanted to buy 1,000 shares. And had I bought 1,000 shares, then I would have made $5,000 on this stock today. It would have been glorious instead of the meager 500 that I made buying 100 shares. But the real question is, what is it going to do now? Is it going to continue to go up in this pattern, or is it going to retreat and pull back in tomorrow's session? That's what we want to know now. Whether you're late to this, early to this, got in on this before it blew up, or got in on it today at some point, you're looking pretty good. Even if you bought it at the top of the day, you're not looking too bad right now. So no matter how you cut it, if you bought it today, you're probably all right. Hopefully you bought this pre-market or right as the market was opening. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, if you just turned onto this stock today, then you probably weren't real aware of why you were buying this stock. And so buying it here was very risky because it had already run up and it could have run down. But as you see, it ran up here. And here's where I sold it, somewhere around $11 and something. And then it fell back sharply and pulled back, and then it started to increase again. But my point to this is, we can look at these patterns. We could have predicted that this was going to go up today, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the big deal. Here's the big issue. Shares outstanding, 3.3 million. That's it. That's the float. That's the shares outstanding, 3.3 million. So if a lot of buyers suddenly show up, then the stock price goes up. There's no news surrounding this. There's no reason for this pop here other than people just started looking at it and started buying it. Because they're looking for plays around the space plays here. And this one was, a strong buy by analysts. Now, though, who knows? So let's take a look at this and figure out what is it going to do tomorrow. That's what we're here for. So we just need to look at the chart. There's no news. There's no other events. There's no short interest. There's nothing, right? Because this is an over-the-counter stock. It only trades during the main trading session. There's no pre-market or post-market to drive this price up, like with most stocks. Why you miss most opportunities, because by the time the market opens, pre-market has increased it to a point that makes it very risky. You don't have to worry about with this one. This one's going to remain at 11:30 until the market opens tomorrow morning, in which case you can start buying it. So what is it going to do? Is it going to keep going up or is it going to go down? All you need to do is look at today. Today tells you what it's going to do tomorrow, in my opinion. I'm not telling you to buy a stock. This is not financial advice. Realize that this is very high risk because what goes up can come down just as quick. So if you bought this stock, at $11 a share, it could go down to $5 a share tomorrow. It really could. It could go down, boom. I could be totally wrong, and this stock could go down. But let's take a look at the pattern. All we can do is look at the pattern to predict what the pattern is going to do tomorrow. And so this day was explosive. Went from 4 something to 6 something. That's a $2 increase. But today was even more explosive. Went from 6 something all the way up to 12 something. It doubled at one point in time at the top of the day. It doubled in price in one day. And the volume did not double, but it's close. So tomorrow, if all things remain equal, if the macro events stay positive, you can look at the macro events. I use Market Watch here, and you can see what the futures are holding tomorrow morning. Come up here. If you see green here, if you see gold and silver and crude oil are all down or flat, and these futures for the NASDAQ, S&P, if these are green in the morning before the market opens and these are red, then that is a full-on buy moment. You're going to want to buy it. If the macro events are there, then I believe the buyers are going to pile in, because as this stock now is going to be on lots of people's radars, and it was a very bullish day today. I mean, you would think this kind of increase, the profit takers are going to jump in, right? Did we see profit takers come in? Well, yes, when we got up here over 1250. Right at 1250, it looks like. That was the point where it reversed. So we know our critical point for tomorrow is 1250. If this stock busts and burst through that 1250 mark tomorrow morning with volume, this kind of volume that we saw this morning, and it busts through that 1250, most likely it's going to keep going up. But what could happen is it's going to get back to that 1250 and then retreat. But look at the chart here. Once it did this reversal, and it didn't go down, it only went down and it reversed. When the profit taking started coming in, the selling started happening, it didn't last long, right? Maybe an hour at most, and then it quickly rebounded from this point, this low point at 710, which was still higher than the opening bid. So it didn't retrace and then go back. It stayed above where it opened and then bounced back and was very bullish. And all these little pullbacks throughout the day didn't amount to much. It quickly bounced back. Every time it pulled down, it bounced back. Had some selling here, big red sell here. I was like, okay, at this point, I was going to shoot the video earlier. And at this point, I was going to shoot it and say, it's probably going to just drift sideways for the rest of the day. But look, it didn't. It remained. It kept going up. Surprising me, we had more buyers come here towards the end of the day, keeping it elevated, keeping it increasing all the way to the end of the day. Even when these sellers came at the end of the day, it didn't matter. It kept it very bullish, kept it going up very high. There's more buyers than there are sellers. The float is low. People are in on this now, right? And they are heavily vested. The risk is getting higher because the pullback seems inevitable. I mean, this is how much can this stock run up? Well, let's zoom out to the max here. It was, before it declined here, it was at 1250. So once again, that 1250 mark is looking like kind of a ceiling here. It's looking like that's probably the point where it's going to max out. And if we're here, well, then we've missed the party, right? I mean, it could go up another dollar before it retreats. And by all likelihood, that's what's going to happen. But looking at what I'm seeing here on this one-day chart, the reason I think it's going to go high and a lot higher tomorrow is because we didn't really see a sell-off today. The sellers were not showing up. And this little freak out here earlier in the day was exactly what it was, a freak out. And it didn't freak out that bad. It's not like we just jumped back down to new lows. No, nobody was willing to sell it for less than it opened today. And this was a scary, scared freak off, right? That the people were like, oh no, it's going to sell off. And they started selling, but it didn't. And I think that is very important. And it neither did it come anywhere near this low again for the day. It just remained bullish after this, kept going bullish. The only reason it pulled back here is because it pulled back up a little too quickly here. So it's not like the price was going to surge again. We didn't have any more surges really, but it just nice and steadily drifted up through the day. So, or tomorrow, the question is, are people going to be like, okay, the momentum's dying, sell it off? Or is the momentum going to come in stronger than ever and we're going to see this candle double? So if it went from 4 to 6, and then today it went from 6 to 12, what do you think it's going to do tomorrow if the momentum continues? And you'll know that very quickly when the market opens tomorrow, how this volume is looking. If you see high volume here, the beginning of the day, if it's already 100,000 people buying this at the very beginning of the day, very quickly you see that, and you see that the price is going up, and it busts through that 1250 mark. It doesn't slow down, it doesn't hinder, it just goes to the 1250 and keeps going up. And that tells me that's going to be the time to buy it. And if it does, then it could go to 20 tomorrow. All right, well, let's put in your comments what you think is going to happen with the stock tomorrow. Once again, this is not advice. I'm not telling you to buy this. You know, this is very risky. This is high risk. But let's see what this does tomorrow. All right, everyone have a great day.